Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing another album review. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Deftones album, Private Music. This released back in August, and it is the first album from Deftones since 2020 when they released Ohms. They released two singles prior to this album coming out. My Mind is a Mountain and Milk of the Madonna. My Mind is a Mountain is actually the opener to this album. When this album was announced, I was really excited for it. Deftones, especially in recent years, have become like one of my favorite rock bands to listen to. They've been a staple of rock music since, the late 90s. But, admittedly, growing up, I never listened to them too much. I had heard some of their songs, but I was never a massive fan of them. Growing up, I was always like a huge, massive fan of like the Foo Fighters and stuff like that. So I never listened to a ton of Deftones growing up, but obviously I heard a lot of their music. But man, in recent years, especially, listening to albums like White Pony, an album that when I first heard it, I wasn't, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But man, I've really listened to that album a lot, recently, but also just a lot of their music, a lot of the songs from Diamond Eyes and other albums, also the album, I can't remember the name of it, the one that came out in 2012. I've listened to a lot of music from that recently. So Deftones is they're like a really consistent band for me, especially in recent years, like a band I've been going to a lot, discovering a lot of their music. And I think overall they're just a pretty consistent band. I actually haven't listened to their more recent album, the one that came out in 2020, Ohms. But I was really excited for this album just because, it was the first time I was really going to get to experience a new Deftones album. I didn't have many expectations. I know that I've enjoyed their music in recent years. They've grown on me a lot in terms of a band, and, Chino's lead vocals are really, really good. And on this album, Private Music, they're really, really good as well. He's a very, very consistent lead singer. And yeah, man, the music on this album is pretty consistent throughout. It's a good album. I enjoyed this album, quite a bit. The opener, like I said, one of the lead singles, My Mind is a Mountain, good opener to this album. Chino brings it on the vocals, the band brings it on the music, really, really, powerful guitars on the opener, and just a really good way to open the album. And they, followed up with good music. Pretty consistently throughout this album. It's really good. There's only a few songs. One song I wasn't a massive fan of, and then also the closer to this album I also wasn't crazy about. But overall, man, it's a pretty consistent album throughout. The second single, Milk of the Madonna, one of the best songs on this album. Really, really, really good song. Love that song. And there's other songs on this thing like, CXZ, one of my favorite songs. Probably my favorite, honestly, if I had to say. CXZ is really good. It goes back and forth between loud and aggressive. It's a really cool song where you'll have your really loud parts and the loud guitars and Chino bringing it on the vocals, but then you go to a more softer segment and it kind of keeps going back and forth, throughout the song. I love that song. CXZ is a really good song. My second personal favorite is probably Metal Dream. Really, really good, especially, like I said, I didn't love the closer, so Metal Dream comes before the closer, so, at least we, get that. Like I said, I don't know what it is about the closer, I just wasn't a huge fan of it. But yeah, and then there's a softer cut on this thing. I Think About You All the Time. Good song. Definitely more emotional. Kind of got the soft guitar that you've come to expect from Deftones on songs like Digital Bath and stuff like that. Kind of that's light guitar, but it's really good soft song. Like I said, more on the emotional side, but it's really the only song on this thing that deviates from the, rock or harder, hard rock kind of, like it's the one like softer song, but everything else is like, it's rock music. And honestly, that's probably my ultimate thought about the album is it's a consistent rock album. It's a good rock album. It is not trying to reinvent the wheel. This is not Deftones, like, at least from my understanding, because like I said, I didn't listen to Ohms. I didn't listen to their 2020 album Ohms. I actually plan on listening to that very soon. And I might do a review for it if I really enjoy it. So I don't know, unless they like went away from their sound on Ohms, which like I said, I don't know. So if you're a Deftones fan, you can let me know. But this album doesn't seem like they're trying to reinvent themselves or anything. It's a, hey, let's go out here. Let's deliver good rock songs. We're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. We're not going to try to make anything innovative or anything that pushes, rock music forward or something, like something that's like innovative and stuff. It's just a consistent good rock album. And that's honestly what I expected. I didn't really have, much expectations. I'm still growing as a Deftones fan. Like I said, in recent years, I've become, a fan of theirs, enjoying their music, listening to albums, but overall, I enjoyed this album a lot. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a consistent rock album. It's a good rock album. Few misses for me. Like I said, I didn't particularly enjoy the closer to the album. And then what was the song called here? Let me find the song. Yeah, Cut Hands. Cut Hands was the song. The other song that I didn't particularly enjoy. But other than that, it was a really consistent album. I enjoyed the songs for the most part. I don't know how often I'm going to go back to it. I think there's definitely songs on this album that I'll go back to. I think that, like I said, CXZ, Metal Dream, Milk of the Madonna, good songs. Those are probably the songs I'll go back to pretty consistently. But overall, I think the album is just good. There isn't anything that, it kind of blows you away on this album. It's, it's just a good rock album, and that's really all there is to this album. But there's not much more than that. Like I said, it's not innovative. It's not trying to push boundaries. It's just trying to be a good rock album, and it succeeds in that. So I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a good album. I think it's an enjoyable listen. Not too many misses. The performances are good. Like I said, Chino's vocals on this, he's been very consistent with every, Deftones project I've listened to. He's a very consistent lead singer, really, really good. And the performances are good. So it's a good rock album. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.